What's going on, Cortez? What's going on, bro?
What's going on, G? Good morning to you.
What's going on? Cortez is your name, right? That's like I could just call you Cortez. Or is that like a
Yeah,
last name?
Cortez or
All right,
Cortez, yeah. Keep going.
But how long you been traded?
Like 4 years now.
Okay. What kind of like style have you found that works best for you so far?
Um, like price action, supply and demand trading.
Okay.
More so like I guess kind of swinging, not
Swinging.
not scalping. Yeah, not
Okay.
not scalping so much no more.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, regardless the strategy you have, if you have something that works, regardless the time frame, it's gonna work on every time frame. It's just a matter of being more patient to wait for those setups to happen, basically. So I feel you. I feel you. What pairs you usually be
Yeah,
trading?
definitely. Just Nas.
Just
Nah,
nice. All right,
yeah,
bet.
yeah,
You traded forex before this? I'm assuming.
yeah. I traded gold mainly and U cheese USD CHF before I had started to play with indices or
Yeah.
indices, however you
Shit, that
prefer
was
to
how I
pronounce it.
was too. Yeah, you could say indexes, indices. They have a whole bunch of names, but right, regardless, I know what you mean. But yeah, I switched to probably indices maybe a year and a half ago, year and a half, and just ever since then, once you get the volatility that it has on a daily and weekly basis, you never want to go back. That's the main reason where how I really came and fell in love with it because the volume. You can
Definitely.
get 1 to 3 trades, 1 to 2 trades in a matter of 15 20 minutes. You don't gotta sit here all day, and that's personally me. Like you said, you said you like to swing a little bit. Me personally, I do not have the patience for that. That's just me though.
Yeah, I mean, some people call it swinging if you hold in there longer than an hour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all
But
perspective. When I
I
hear
like to be
swing,
off the market.
yeah, I
Hmm.
feel you. That's why the main thing I trade in the morning, and then after that, I'm just done with it. So in a ways, very similar to trade styles, but
Like, so do you? You say you trade in the morning. Like, do you place your trades in the morning and let them ride, or like
it
at a
depends.
certain time you just cut them at a certain time?
For the most part, it depends because if I do let it run, it's only gonna be like a runner. I'm not gonna leave the full position because majority of the time there's no need to. Like if you just look in the past, like say these
Yeah,
these dotted lines I have here are the 12 a.m. open, so midnight. Where are you from?
I'm from Detroit.
Detroit. All right, so we
Yeah.
have the same time then. So this is the 12 a.m. midnight. So this is like midnight every day, and that's I have it delineating because that shows me each day. It might be different from true day, which in like the market it technically starts at like 5 6 p.m. But I do it from
Mhm.
midnight because that's like the actual day. And you can see from here we have the London moves, and then when New York session comes, it usually sticks with that trend. It usually sticks with that trend.
London showed out last night though.
One last night, yeah. Matter
I
of
said,
fact,
yeah, London showed out last night.
yeah, this shit. When I see things like this, a lot of the time I can sense that it might be a trending day. And when I see days like this, I usually end up not taking a trade because on these trending days, you
Yeah,
tend to not get the setups you like to look for. But here, I'm gonna start doing my markups for you real quick, just showing you how I do it. You see my YouTube videos?
yeah, definitely.
Okay, bet. So you're gonna have an idea of basically what I'm doing. So I just always start off by doing the previous day's high, the previous day's low, and the reason I do that is because, in simple terms, if you're ideally going to be bullish on a higher time frame, such as the daily, more than likely price is
Hmm.
gonna run for that previous day high, and it just acts as a level of basically liquidity. Same with the previous
Yeah,
day's low, and as you can see, the previous day's low from yesterday prices already ran through it. So the likelihood of price then maybe flipping and then targeting the previous day's high is going to be extremely unlikely. So we already know for the most part, today's more than likely going to be a bearish day. Already ran through the previous day's low. And based off of my higher time frame analysis that I've had for since Sunday, it's playing out so far in effect. So I already know the trend is more than likely going to continue being bearish. So I already know what type of trade I'm looking for today, and that already cuts out a lot of the bullshit trades that I will be looking for because I know the trend I want to take, and if I have a setup that I always take, if I don't see that setup, I don't take a trade, and if I don't see that setup lining up in the direction, I don't take a trade. So it just simplifies it for me. And after I
and
get
it's
the
10
previous
o'clock and 2
highs,
o'clock news today too.
you said what?
I said it's 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock news today too.
Yeah, there is. What's today? Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay, but yeah, 10 o'clock news. A lot of the times, like here's a little tip. I've noticed when there's a lot of 10 o'clock news, it tends to be reversal days. So you'll
Mm.
see a lot of days. Let me go to S&P like yesterday. Like up here, if you would have went back in time like this from yesterday, this S&P, I personally thought price was gonna have a retracement and then continue going lower, right? But if you go like this, you can see price pushed.
Yeah, I got stopped out, bro,
Mm-hmm.
with that.
Same thing with me. And then you can
Yeah,
see price pushed, cleared the highs. And when you clear
yeah.
highs like this is like a reversal because it cleared the liquidity and then went the other direction.
Hmm.
Then you can see price. And mind you, this was 10 o'clock news. Look, 10 o'clock yesterday. So a lot of the time,
Yeah.
things like this happen at 10 o'clock news, and that's what I've noticed since I trade only the same pair, same two pairs. I noticed a lot of that. So that's one thing I will
Mm.
notice. But on a day like this, personally, if we do get that 10 o'clock news, I personally don't think it will be a reversal. And if it is, then the likelihood of me taking a trade at that point is going to be extremely unlikely because what's the likelihood of price traveling this far down to reverse and just fly? You know what I mean? It's just, you always got to think of it as probabilities, in my opinion. So then I always mark up
Yeah.
the Asian session range also. So the 3 point outline I do consists of the previous day's high, the previous day's low, the Asian session range, and the 12 a.m. open that I have right here. You can see when this 12 a.m. open, this London session move we had came right above it. And the reason that's important is because say you go to this higher time frame now, you look at the daily. It looks like this daily candle already made the high of the wick. So majority of the time when that happens, the high of the day is already secured. And why is that
Shit, you
important?
probably could go short for the week, huh?
You probably could, honestly. The only thing is just risk reward wise. If you're cool with risking 600 pips for a safe stop loss, then you're cool.
Yeah, that's 6,000 pips, so that's 600
Yeah,
points, right?
600 points. Yeah. So like
Yeah.
you could if you lower the lot size like crazy, you definitely could for sure.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it probably would work out because I think this Monday or was it Monday? Tuesday made the high of the week in my opinion. I don't think price is gonna go any higher than this. I'm gonna mark this up just like this. I'm gonna just say high of the week. Just I don't think it will end up moving past that. And if it doesn't, then when it comes on Friday and I do my weekly analysis, I can then look at this and be like, okay, it did this, and that was the high of the week on this day, and I can use that information for the future. But the first thing I want you to pay attention to is this area right here. This is the 12 a.m. line that we have, so price ran above it. And the reason I always have this 12 a.m. line is because you understand how like the Fibonacci works in a sense, how it's like a discount and premium price.
Not from that standpoint. I just know how to place them
Okay,
and just use the numbers to
yeah,
mark my retracement
I'm gonna give
levels
you a
and
little
take
example
profit
right here.
levels.
Here, I'm gonna give you a little example. So basically, the Fibonacci, there's no magic behind it. All it does is measure retracement. So say price is
Yeah.
retracing 38.20%. It's basically just telling me that price is only retracing 38.20%. And what does that tell me? The reason I have this red line is because when it retraces here and starts rejecting, the likelihood of price going to continue trending is going to be far more likely because the shorter the retracement, the more how do I say it? The more bullishness in a sense. This has more bullish
Yeah, the higher
momentum.
probability is gonna.
hmm
Okay, yeah.
And the deeper the retracement is retracing 62% or 70.50% and 79%. And the reason that this is important because say we get the 50% of this fib. We're still going to use the same levels. We have the 50% of it that's right here. I'll just make it a different color so you can see a little bit better. I'll just make it blue. The reason, the little difference between the two is from the 50% above it isn't going to be a discounted price. This is going to be an average price. It's not a high price.
Okay.
And the lower it goes is going to be a discounted price because I use the example of if you want to buy a car, you don't want to buy a car for the highest price.
No, I understand
You want to
completely.
buy it for a better price, and that's what how the banks are looking at price. They want to get it as low as possible, and then that's when they're gonna come in and push it the other direction. It's not always gonna be like that. Like sometimes you'll have days like this where it comes to only 38.20% and just continues that trend. But that's basically, in a sense, the same thing with the 12 a.m. open. The open shows you this is gonna be everything above the open is gonna be if you're trying to go short. This is gonna be a premium price, and vice versa for if you're trying to go long. Down here is going to be discounted price. So you'll usually get the best entries if you're trying to go short above the open, and you'll get the best entries if you're trying to go long below the open. And same thing over here. So I can show you another example just for yesterday. If you look at the open, same thing. London session came up, made that high of the day, came down, never went back up there. I can go all the way over here. Another day. London session came down, made that low of the day, below the opening price, continue the other direction. And it's not always going to be during London session because, like I said, there's always those times where you have the New York moves that end up pushing higher. But you can still see the same thing. Price came up, was above it, consolidating until 9 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning, went the other direction. Same thing. And I can show you examples all day. Over here, London came up, made the high of the day, never came back up. So those are just a few examples just to show you that it works. And a lot of the time, people don't really understand why I have the open. But in a sense, it's just basically showing me where price is likely going to make those moves at. And it's always good to know because if you can see, it's just, trust me, you're gonna see it a lot more now. You're gonna see. That's why when you said the London, and it's just, trust me, like if you start marking it up every day, you can be like, damn, that shit.
That's crazy.
And mind you, because a lot of the time, London session makes those highs and lows of the day. A lot of the time, because even I showed you a lot of
that's how I mark examples. I mark up by the what London session done did already and see if New York gonna continue it or reverse it, because sometimes London just set up the alley-oop for New York to just
always that's my main setup. I have two setups. I'm only trading one currently because as of recently that setup hasn't been as profitable, and a lot of times I've noticed I end up taking L's on that setup. So I've just been taking my one setup, the bread and butter setup, and that's the London continuation. And there's a whole bunch of things that I like to look for. So say for example, this is one confirmation I like to look for. I like to see London make that high and then go the opposite direction. But I also like to see, in this case it didn't happen, but with the Asian session range, if I see London make that high, just like it did here, also clear the high of, say, the Asian session range, I know that there's a very high chance that price is going to continue the other direction. Why? Because price came up, cleared liquidity, grabbed that liquidity, ran the other direction at that specific time of day, above the open. So those are like 3-4 confirmations for why this should be the high of the day. And that's just for the high of the day. That's not really giving me a trade, but now I know where I can have my stop loss, if that makes sense. Because if I understand that this up here is going to be the high of the day, and I'm looking for a specific move, such as a London continuation, so say I'm going to use this high and this low down here, and I'm going to draw my fib just like this, and I'm going to find the area where price could likely retrace to. And the main fib levels I use are just, I have my normal fib levels, which are just the 79 to 62%. Then I have the 38.20%, which is just a continuation level. But these are my main levels I like to see price retrace into. And as you can see, these are in confluence with the Asian session low. We also have this big figure level, which is 14,800 right at this open. So I already know that in this little area up here, there's going to be a lot of confluence. And now that I know where the high of the day is, I know where my stop loss is going to be no matter what. No matter what. Because if I have it above this high, and I know for a fact that if this runs above this high, the setup is no longer there. It's as simple as that. If it runs above the high, it's no longer a London continuation. You can have a move such as I was showing you yesterday with S&P, where it ran above this high, cleared the liquidity, and then kept going lower. That's something that could happen, and you can see how price reacted after that. It just melted. But there's going to be times where it doesn't do this, and just price just continues on flying. So in this case, I was right on the direction, just not right on the trade. But that could still happen here. I just want to see, all right, these also here. But I just want to see price come up. I want to see a retracement today. I want to try to go in ideally around maybe 14,800. I'll probably give it 14,800 to 14,750. That's the ideal area because this is where the majority of the confirmations are. We have this Asian session low, which a lot of the times acts as a form of resistance or support. I personally don't use those terms, but these are just, I always mark it up because this is an area that price likely retraces to. And we also have that previous day's low right here, so we could potentially retrace that low. We have that 14,800 level, and there's a lot of reason for me to believe that if price comes up there,
for shorts.
I'm only looking for shorts because, like I said earlier, based off the higher time frame on the weekly, I already know that more than likely price is going to continue going bearish just off of this. And if you look at the daily, Yesterday was also bearish, and it was also a bearish engulfing at that. Not, I wouldn't say bearish engulfing, but damn near close. Damn near close.
Yeah.
It broke the high and the low, even though it didn't close below the previous day's open. You can still see is a lot of bearish momentum from this area in price. And
you don't think it'll bounce off that small zone?
Which one right here?
Yeah.
Potentially it could, and if it does, that's why I would expect price to have this retracement right now to push higher.
Okay.
To potentially keep going lower. And if you look at where this is in prices, around 14,770. If we look over here, 770 is right above right here. So we could potentially just be retesting this zone after we reject here. So we definitely could. And I would ideally want to see it reject this, because if we could reject this, I know that we could potentially get to that area and price I want to sell at, and then continue going lower. So it could actually play out. And even we have that, and we also have this low right here from this order block that we have. So this last up
that would happen today?
I would hope it would happen today. That would be best case scenario, but at the end of the day, you never really know. But this is my thoughts on what I personally would like to see. If I see this happen, then I know that based off of all this analysis I'm doing, that when it comes in this area, I'm going to go short, regardless if I win the trade or not. I'm going to go short here. My stop loss is going to be above this high, and if it gets stopped out, it is what it is. But that's why I have this setup. If I see the confirmations, I'm going to take the trade. I have a certain amount of risk, and if I take the trade and lose it, it is what it is, part of the game. But if I take that trade and win it, you know what I mean? If I see it and I'm like, damn, I should take the trade and don't, and it plays out, I'm going to be mad that I didn't follow the setup, because all the confirmations I had were there.
And I got out early on that drop last night. Yeah, from like I had some stops set, and they hit, and when I woke up, I seen like a slight retracement, and I just closed them. And then
personally,
working out, I seen that they kept dropping.
Oh, what's going on, Mario?
What's going on, Andre? What's up, Urquez?
Hey, what's going on, man?
But what I was gonna say. A lot of the time I've noticed with the London moves, it's a lot of reversals. So like, as you can see, price comes up and then just goes the opposite direction at some point in time. And the thing with those London session moves is you never really know where it's gonna reverse at. So that's personally why I like trading New York session, because I can use the Asian session and the London session to my advantage and try to see what it gave me and then follow the trend. And that's why I like trading these times, because I can get more data than if I would have traded London session right over here. There wouldn't have been as much data for me to go off of. I just would have had the Asian session, and price could have easily looked like it was going to retrace higher from here. But as you can see, it just kept going. So a lot of the time, that's why I like trading the New York session. I got more confirmation, more confluence, and all of that, things like that. And another thing I always like to do, I always like to use these previous day's highs and previous day's lows for potential fib setup. So say this ends up being this low and price starts to retrace, I'm going to take this fib from the previous day's high all the way down to here, and I'm going to look for that continuation level. And that just happens to be in this general area. It's not perfect, but nonetheless it's still in this general area. So around 14,800, this could potentially turn into a wick. But even if it does that and taps into this level, if I'm in this and my stop loss is still above this high, there's still a chance that it could just get close but not tap me out. So that's just another confirmation right here. Everything is below my stop loss. So depending on where I enter, as long as my stop loss is above this high, everything is below it. So if the setup wants to work out, it should more than likely work out. But just because saying it will doesn't mean it will. Price could easily just come to this 38.20% level and just continue this bearish trend right now. Has no reason to go any higher, but I always like to find the area that has the most probability, the highest chance of having that trade setup happen. And if I miss a trade, it is what it is. If I miss a trade, I'm simply just not putting risk, and I'm not losing money or making money, so that's perfectly fine by me. But just at the end of the day, it's just always good.
Limits?
Personally, I don't, because a lot of the time when I do on indexes, they always end up not getting triggered, and I miss them by like 4 or 5 pips, and then I'm sick.
Yeah.
So personally, I like to just watch it. I'll like mark on here because the brokers I have are a little bit different compared to TradingView and the ones I use on MetaTrader to take the trades. So I watch it. I'll look for the area that I'm ideally looking to get in at. And sometimes I'll get in maybe 5 pips early, 10 pips early. Or if that's why I like using the big figure levels, because when price comes to say a big figure level like 14,800, a lot of the time I'll try to put my orders in here because I know a lot of other people, banks and all that, are trying to get in at this level too. So the likelihood of price reacting at these levels is far more likely than, say, me getting in like right here. Because what's the point of me getting in here if this big freak level is only 50 points away? The likelihood of it tapping in to go lower is going to be far more likely. And I'm going to miss trades like that sometimes, but that's part of the game. I'd rather miss a trade than get into a trade that I shouldn't have. And that's facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now that's majority. It's majority what I do. Now I just simply wait to see if the setup happens, and if it doesn't, it is what it is. I'm also
so you wouldn't scalp the long?
Nah, personally I would have used to, but just with more discipline, just I look for my setup, because for all I know, price could just come up and keep going down just like this, and I'm only gonna end up getting a potential 1-to-1 if I get that. Yeah. Or if I try to get in now, price could keep going lower, then retrace. I'd rather wait for price to get into this area because I'm bearish, so I'm only looking for sells based off the higher time frame. US 30, higher time frame bearish. NAS 100, higher time frame bearish, and I'm almost 100% sure S&P's higher time frame is bearish too. I just don't have the markup.
Yeah.
So I know based off probabilities, if I get into a sell, I'm gonna have a higher chance of winning a trade regardless where I get in. Regardless, because if I know the previous days were also bearish, just by following that trend, I have a higher % chance of having a winning trade just because I'm following that direction. So even if I have a bad entry, say for example, I get in right here, my stop loss is up here or something, which will never happen. That would be a crazy stop loss. That shit is wild. But just for the example, say this is a 1-to-1. Even if I'm right on the direction and I have a shitty entry like this, price can come all the way up, tap into these levels, do whatever it's gonna do, and then still come my way just because I was right on the direction. So even though I didn't have the best entry, just based off the fact that I have a higher time frame directional bias, I'll have a higher chance of winning the trade. And say if I go long down here, there is a chance, and that's something I used to do a lot of the time. I'll try to scalp these and shit. Martin, you know, I'll go long here to try, because the way I'm thinking, I'm like, damn, why would I wait to short when I can go long now and potentially get out before then?
Yeah.
Is that how you were like thinking in a way too?
Yeah, I was thinking of, because I'm long term. Well, I ain't gonna. Yeah, I'm long term short, but that's 200. I mean, that's 2,000 pips up to the potential zone that I would be looking for to short at anyway, right? So I was thinking about just pipping and dipping on a couple of them moves if I got the confirmation off of that zone.
So yeah, I definitely, I know why exactly you would do it, because this person, that's something I always used to do too. So I don't blame you for doing it, because it makes sense at the time. But a lot of time I've noticed is if I just wait, less is more. Less is always more. Less trades is more. Yeah. And if you stay on the bias,
this past week.
Hey, it's better than ever though. It's better than ever. So the thing is, less is more. So the less trades I take, the higher the probability of those trades. I can still make more doing that than taking more trades at a time, because the more trades you take, the more risk. So say you take this long and price comes down, spikes you out, and then goes the opposite direction. Are you going to take another trade? You don't know, because that's more risk. Now, what if price doesn't even hold this level here and it keeps going higher? Now you're down 2 trades. Are you going to wait? It's just, you got to mitigate at the end of the day, because for all I know, price could keep going lower. And it, like I said earlier, remember when I said it could potentially be a trending day? When I said trending days are usually days I don't like to take trades because I don't get my setup. This could end up being a trending day. It could come up a little bit and just drop. And if it does that, I'd rather be out of it, not in the market, than in it. Because personally, on those trending days, the best entries would have been during those London session moves. New York session a lot of the time won't give you those good moves. But at the end of the day, what time is it?
Can I give a recommendation?
There you go.
Cortez, do you have a job? Do you have income? Then you don't really have to be like in that mindset of having to make money on a move like this. It's better just to take less trades, higher probability setups, because then at the end of the day, it's just more percentage at the end of the week.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot better with that, honestly.
Yeah. It comes day by day.
Starting to pay more attention to time. You know, I'm noticing like around open. I don't like trading at all between 9:30 and 10, because that's when all the pump fakes usually been.
Shit, I'm the opposite. I'm right in there.
Yeah.
But you're right though. A lot of the time, and by pump fakes you mean it's basically like false breaks. A lot of the time.
Yeah, the liquid grabs. That's when they usually happen. Like within that time frame, and the big moves usually start happening after 10. And then with today being news at 10, I figured news would push the bias, but definitely get
No, you're definitely right. You're definitely right. Too. A lot of I've heard that before too. Just the main thing with me is that you are right, but the only reason why you'll be right and have those pump fakes is if it's a reversal type of day. That's the main thing. So if it's gonna be a continuation day, it won't pump fake you. It might pump fake the people down here trying to go long, maybe come down a little bit, stop them out, and then go higher. But for the main bias, the market already knows where it wants to go, directional wise, and all of that stuff. Yeah. So the way I look at it is less trades, higher probability. If I would take the trade, I could potentially risk more because I know it's a higher time frame setup or a higher just probability trade. And look, just like this, if prices continues dropping, this is a perfect example of this trending that I was talking about. But like, if that happens,
you don't trade continuation.
Personally, no, because risk reward is not there. Remember how I was talking about discounted and premium pricing?
Oh yeah.
If I were to sell all the way down here, that's like me buying the car for the most expensive price possible, or selling the car for the cheapest price possible. It doesn't make sense to me personally. Why? If I can wait to get up near the open or near the big freak level, I can still catch the majority of the expansion for the entire day. Because if you look at a daily candle, just like this, where is the best entries majority of the time? Near the open, right? Near the open or the high. Down here, if you were to get in low by the open, you would have caught this whole thing. If you would have got in at the open up here, caught the whole thing. At the open, caught the whole thing. Open, caught the whole thing. And that's where the majority of the moves, if you're able to get in around these areas, you're going to have a very high probability of having those winning trades. And that's personally why I like to look at it the way I do. So just like that, if I get in here, I'm basically buying at a price where price is so extended. Like if you look at the daily where it is, that's like me selling right here. And even though it can go lower, it definitely can. I'm just going over probabilities. If I could wait to get a retracement and get a better entry, I will. And if I don't get it, I'm fine with not taking the trade because I know there's going to be another opportunity tomorrow that I could potentially risk way more because it's an even more high probability setup. And I know what is more likely going to happen.
You saying the momentum might be gassed at this point. Yeah.
And look at just how price is moving. I could just sense trending days.
I think it's just a fake out.
I could just sense trending days. Because mind you, price didn't come to the 38.20% level. It didn't come to these. This is literally like a 20% retracement. Not even a 20. It's like a 10% retracement. I don't even know what this would be. Hold on. Let me see. Let me try 0.10 or something. Yeah, it's like a 0.10, maybe 0.20% retracement. That isn't shit. It didn't retrace whatsoever. 20%. Literally, yeah, 20% retracement. That isn't shit. Literal shit. And I would rather wait for a better entry closer to all these areas in price where I can have a good stop loss. Because even if I get in now, where will my stop loss be? Above this?
Technically, if you got a break of that and then a retest of that zone right there,
or like right here,
that would be at the where it's at right now. Because if you look for the past 4 or 5 candles, that's a little zone. So if it breaks that zone and retests that zone, I would be cool with going in. Actually, to me, that would be perfect because I'll put my stop loss above that wick.
Yeah, it's possible. But this personally, just the way I trade, with the setups I trade, that would just be something I personally wouldn't do just based off of probabilities. Because I know that if, say, price does come down, but then that ends up being, say, a false break or a false breakout of these lows, it can just come stop you out. And then that original trade idea you had could still play out. Now you're like, damn, I should have just waited because that's originally what I had. And that's something I struggled with in the past, is not letting price or not letting my original biases come to fruition and just trying to hop in. Because the thing with trading, when you're sitting at the charts, a lot of the time you start to just want to make money. You want to catch the trades. But in reality, once you get to that mindset that there'll be another opportunity tomorrow, there'll be another one the next day, you don't try to force it because you know regardless, it's going to be another opportunity. And trust me, if you've been in the Telegram chat or even just watching my YouTube videos, I always post like the daily ranges, and it's always 1 or 2 setups every single day. 1 or 2, a continuation or reversal every day. There's not, or trending day. Those are the 3. It's either going to be a reversal with the New York session clearing a high or a low and then reversing, or it's going to be a London continuation where the London session makes the high of the day, and New York session has a retracement to continue that trend. And as you can see, just based off of what I said this morning, it could likely be a trending day. And I could just sense that off of just the information I'm given, just from experience and just sensing a lot of the things. So if I don't get a trade today, it is what it is. I'm already coming to the fact that I might not get it because price is extremely bearish right now. And let's look at other pairs. US30 is also falling. S&P is also falling. So it just might be one of them days where it just trends. Because keep in mind this higher time frame bias we have. We're already very bearish as is. And this could just end up being one of them higher time frame trending moves to get us to a specific area. And that's perfectly fine by me, because if I see that this candle continues to melt and create bearish and close bearish, then I know what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow. Another bearish day. I'll have a better idea where I can get a short at, because if this closes bearish, I know that I could look for potential retracement of maybe of this high during the New York session tomorrow. Not New York session, London session. London session could potentially come make this high of the day, and I'll be looking to go short from there. And that's perfectly fine by me. I miss trades all the time, and it is what it is. Yeah. We'll see, because because like I said, this could end up just being a false breakout. It could just clear these lows and start to fly. You never really know, but just based off of what I'm looking at and just experience and how I feel, it'll just look like.
When I started waiting, I started passing. I just got funded MFF, and I got 2 other funded accounts that I'm working on. Once I start being patient, everything just started. You know, you do your analysis, you trade however you trade, but once
just makes it easier.
That works. You stick with it.
Less stressful.
Patient, man.
Because the main thing with newer traders is they're looking for every setup. They're looking for every trade opportunity. They're trying to make as much as they can on a daily basis, where they need to refine one simple strategy, 1 or 2 little setups, and just stick to the 2. Like I have 2 setups, but I'm only looking for 1. And that 1 setup, I know that if it plays out, I can make, depending on how much I'm risking, I can risk maybe 1 to 2% on a trade, maybe 3%, because I know that if I have all specific confirmations, like this one isn't a perfect trade, it wouldn't be a perfect trade in my opinion, because if this London session cleared, say this Asian session high like this or something, cleared the high, tapped into say a higher time frame order block or something, tapped into a higher time frame big figure level, then I know that this is more than likely going to be the high of the day, and it's like a 70-80% chance. So even if like I said, I don't have to have the best entry, but if I know where the trend's going to be, I can have a very high likelihood of still having a winning trade, even if my entry isn't perfect. And that's why I like these setups, because the probability is there. I can risk more. So even though I might take less trades, I could be making 10 times more just with these setups, because I'm able to risk way more. So if I go 4 days without taking a trade, I could literally add, and that 5th day I get a very high probability setup. I could add the risk that I would have used on every single day of that week on that 1 trade. That's all. And if you take that L, then it's 1 L. You had a losing week. That's it. But if you have a winning trade, then that could be a trade that you're like, damn, I don't got a trade next week. I'm cool, because if you risk say 4 or 5%, you can easily make 8% on that trade, and that's like a minimum. I wouldn't take anything else, at least. And then say if it goes any higher, say you have a really crazy day. 3%. So I try not to risk more than 2 in my opinion, but I haven't had a really high probability setup in a while, so we'll see. But like with the reversals, that's another thing. With the reversals, I always risk less too, because the probability of them playing out is going to be far less likely. So I risk like maybe 0.5% on those reversal moves, because I know a lot of the time when I'm trying to catch a reversal like this, who knows if it's going to be, this is the point of reversals at, right? So say I get in, I have like a 50-point stop loss. I'm trying to catch this reversal to the top side. I don't know if this is going to be the reversal point. It could easily come lower, stop me out, and then go back in that direction, but I'm already down a trade. So what I've noticed,
that's exactly what it's gonna do today.
Yeah, it looks like it's trying to, just with the rates rejecting. And if you look at the other pairs, it's looking like similar things. So we'll see. We still got time. But like you said, we have news at 10 o'clock, and a lot of the time that 10 o'clock news ends up being reversals. So we will see. We will see.
At a 4-hour order block too.
Which one?
Yeah.
This one. Oh wait.
NAS 100's at a 4-hour. If you
Which one?
NAS 100
here
right now.
Oh, here.
Yeah. If you.
Okay, yeah. I see a little bit better. Yeah, I can see that rejection. And mind you, this is based off the higher time frame, like you were saying earlier. Cortez, this area right here on the daily, it still has a likelihood of rejecting it, even though it hasn't yet. I'll mark up to 50% of it, because once it starts going past the 50% of a specific area, the likelihood of it playing out is going to be far less likely. It's at the 50% now, so we'll see how it reacts.
Why do a lot of people like the 62 point
62 like 79%. I just think it's just more like it's just a retracement area. It's just like a zone in my opinion. I don't think it's anything specific because I could use this 61%, and it's probably not really gonna make a big difference in my opinion.
No, I mean like that's like a lot of people that I see because you try to pick up knowledge from as many good sources as possible. I've been doing this for like 4 years now, like I said, so I've seen through all the glitz and glamour of forex traders and went through a lot of losses myself and finally profitable. So I know how to weed through people who actually know what they're talking about. That's why when I came across your page, I'm like, okay, you talking shit that makes sense, you know, and you're not on here with fucking Lamborghinis and Gucci and shit trying to show how much money you make.
I can show about it. I can show the cash now, but fuck that shit. It ain't gonna help no one.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna help no one.
It's not no point. You know what I'm saying? You know how you living. It ain't no point of trying to flex like that. This is your livelihood, and I can tell that you take your time and you really understand.
Yeah, you gotta put the time into it.
That's what I was trying to put this in. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just like, I'm right at that level where I'm about to take off. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving myself 90 days in this job, and everything will be done. Just trading full time.
Shit, bro, I believe you. You can make it happen even shorter. It's just you could do a lot in just a month. A lot could change.
It's a lot that go into this, man. So I just appreciate you for putting up some good content. Y'all as a team putting up some good content. Of course. Sure.
Good vibes, man. I'll send you some good vibes, Cortez, man. That's good shit, man.
But yeah, it's all about just at the end of the day, just consistency and experience. Because regardless, everyone's gonna take losses. It's just about how you handle the losses. It's about how if you take a loss, are you gonna be right back on the charts the next day? Like even if I take a loss, I could have the worst week trading ever, but I'll still be on these charts the next day, at least watching the market.
Yeah. You actually gotta like doing this, man. That's why I'm like I'm addicted to looking at charts.
Not real shit.
Like every day I wake up and want to look at charts, man. So
to an extent, like I believe you should be addicted to it, but to an extent, you don't want to make it your entire life because, like you said earlier, you want to have that freedom that this is able to create. So I give it like a good time frame during my day because it can corrupt your whole life. It really can. Like if you're not on the charts, you could be on the chart. It's falling right now. Over here, it looks like US30 and US30 looks like it's still rejecting a little bit, but regardless what happens, I probably won't take a trade today just from how it's looking. It looks like it's just gonna be a trending day, and that's cool by me. It is what it is. I don't gotta force anything because I already know setups are gonna happen regardless, either today, tomorrow, or the next day, or even shit Monday. But regardless, it is what it is. But it's all about just experience because you'll gain the most experience just trading by yourself and noticing little things. Like even with now that I told you about this London move above the open, you're going to start to realize it and you're going to start looking at it by yourself. And the more you see it, you're going to get more confident with believing it because I could tell you that something is going to work. But until you see it for yourself happen repeatedly, you're not really going to believe it. And once you start to see it, you're going to be like, damn, so this does happen. And based off of probabilities, I know that since this happened today, this could happen today also because you have that experience that no one else has. And that's something you can't really teach. You can't teach experience. You can't teach someone to see something repeatedly unless you're doing it like me and you're like doing it every single day, daily, and just repeatedly putting it in their face. And that's why I do the daily ranges because the same shit happens every day, every week, the same shit. It's like, damn. And it's like, damn, why don't people realize it? And it's because they're not looking for these specific things to happen. And once I showed them that these specific things happen on these specific hours of the day, in these specific areas, during these specific zones, during these specific time zones, they start to realize it by themselves now. And once they start to realize it, that's when things start to change because then they gain the confidence to then take those trades. They gain the confidence to believe in the strategy. Because I could tell you everything, but until you see it for yourself, it's over. Like, look at Martin. When Martin, I started, when was it? Like, you joined the mentorship? Like, when?
I think October or no, November.
Like, October. And trust me, the way Martin used to trade, that shit was trash. On God. Like, real shit. That shit was trash. I had to show him the way. And ever since then, it's like, there'll be days where I don't go live and I'll just, like, see how he does. And he marks up similar to me. And even, like, in the Telegram chat, I have Makai, Martin. If you were to look at me and his charts, it's almost the same shit, and because he's able to see the things that I was able to bring to reality. He's like, damn, I see it now. I see it works out.
Pick up knowledge. That's why I love picking up knowledge from a lot of people.
it's not nobody. If I feel like it's quality, I'll pick it up from anybody, younger, older. I'm sure y'all much younger than me. How old are you?
Me? I'm 19.
Yeah, see, I'm 33. And y'all picked up on this early, like at 19. I wasn't even thinking about none of this. This wasn't even.
Yeah, for me, I started off young. Like I started trading, like early 17, like late 16. But I started like learning about. You know what drop shipping is?
Yeah.
I was into drop shipping at like maybe 14, 15, like in high school. I was reading like Grant Cardone books and the real estate and all that. So I started off young. It still took me a couple years to really get into.
Entrepreneurs?
Nope, neither of them.
Oh, okay.
So I just think I don't know. I think it's just the way I grew up, just with the technology. It was just bound to happen that I end up doing something online. And I feel like that's just a lot of people nowadays. Like if you guys had the technology when you're younger, because Martin, how old are you? 30, 31?
30.
30. So yeah, you two around the same age. Like if you guys would have had the technology around my age, the probability you probably get into something would have just been more likely. And I was just blessed to be born in this time, and it's gonna be different because when I have kids, they're gonna have even more shit. It's gonna be even different. They'll probably fucking be trading with fucking VR headsets. So you never know.
Exactly.
It's just all about time, just taking advantage of what you have, because regardless, you guys might have got into it later than me, but you're still in it. And there's going to be people that get in it in their 50s, 60s, 70s, because this is going to be around forever. It's been around forever, and it's going to be around for way longer than we'll be here. So that's all that matters. And the banks and all the big money, they make money off of this. So that's how you know it's going to
be all the time.
They make the majority money off this. Our job is to just follow their big moves and just learn how the market really moves and just follow them along the way.
Yeah. And naked trading is important too. A lot of people like first jump in the game be so dependent on fucking indicators. It's ridiculous.
That's everyone. Because the thing is,
learning how to look at the charts and mark it up yourself is
the main thing. Is why a lot of people fail is because they want to come in to make money. So what's the best way to make money? They want to find the easiest way that they don't have to do as much work, and that's what leads to indicators, because indicators will give you a sense of, oh, you should do this at this time, or you should do this because this is this, and you're not really learning why. You're just doing it because the indicator says so. You don't even know how the indicator was made. You really don't.
But you know why that happened, right?
Why?
The pandemic forced everybody to try to find ways to make money from home because they was forced to be at home.
I wouldn't even say just pandemic. I would say even before, because you were
recently.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about recently. It's been like a recent boom in like.
Oh yeah, for sure.
People want to do forex, just because.
Just online everything. Yeah. Online everything. Because like I'm assuming, like even probably when you start trading 4 years ago, I guarantee you everyone was still probably using indicators. People are still in signals, chats, because regardless, just the human mind's like, oh, what's the easiest way to do this? What's the fastest way I can do this? Because everyone wants, like, that's where the term "get rich quick" all comes in to play, because everyone wants to get rich quick. I would be lying if I said I didn't want to get rich quick, but I know the reality of it. I'm not gonna get rich quick. It's gonna take time. So I'd rather take that time, take the few years of losing, to then have that one breakout year where the rest of my life I'm cool, because I'd rather do that than say go to college for 4 years where I have a chance of getting a high paying job, after I paid all the money. I have a chance.
At that high paying job, dedicating 30, 40 years of your life to that high paying job.
Time is money, and that's why I'm glad I started young, because regardless if this takes me 10, 15 years, I'm gonna still be young. And I'm gonna have knowledge that I can pass on to everyone else, like I'm doing now. Because the reason I do the YouTube, I don't get paid from it. It's just to spread the knowledge. Because if I would have had something like, I try to be something that I wish I had, and if I would have had someone on YouTube that was posting daily certain things that I was to look at, such as say, you guys know ICT, like Inner Circle Trader, like that's where I learned majority of my concepts from. And something like him, like where he literally shows you, he doesn't flex, doesn't nothing, and Cortez, I would recommend you watch him, because he's definitely someone you would want to fuck with.
He doesn't even know what he's seen. Like, he's just a person out there who.
He doesn't use face cam. He just has hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours times 15 of content. Just not talking about money, lectures, just going over price action. And there's so many different things he teaches. But the main thing you got to take away from it is every strategy in a way works. Every strategy to an extent works. Yeah. It's just about the discipline with that strategy, following the rules that you have made, all of that. And he
psychology, bro, it's probably like 80% of trading.
Yeah, 80, 90 at least.
Yeah, and having a discipline. Like for me, the main thing to me is why my profits are more than what they haven't been is because I need to work on my smoke and hold game. Meaning,
I need to, if I know that this trade is gonna go, if I have a bias that it's gonna go this way, I always take out my trades before they hit TP, and they always wind up hitting my TP if I were to leave them in there.
One thing I would recommend, because I had the same problem, start leaving runners. If you start to leave runners, like say for example yesterday with Martin, you say you left the runner on that trade, you were able to catch majority of the move. But say this was like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, you probably wouldn't have been able to do that, because it comes with, the reason I start to leave runners is because you gain more confidence in holding a trade, because the lower the position size, the less you care about it, right? If you're risking, say, $100 on a trade, you make 200 on it, what's the difference from leaving like a 1% runner? You're not really going to care, because you already made the money. But now that you have that runner, you're able to just let it run. You gain the confidence in holding it over time. You gain the confidence in seeing that it's going to play out. All of those things. And that's why I recommend always starting to leave runners, because it's going to help you long term. It's not going to help you, say, make more money, but it's going to help you with that psychological holding, patience, all of that. Because that's something I personally used to struggle with. I used to take like 1-to-1 trades because I'm like, damn, I see the money, let me take it, because I don't know if it's going to go my way. But it just comes down to having a system.
Yeah, it'd be psychologically like, I'm like, man, I don't want to be greedy. You know? Like, oh, this is good. I'll make, 200. No, 200 is great. Let me grab that. Okay.
You just got to think of it as...
It could have been 800,
Do you use alerts, Cortez?
No, it's like, it's a lot of shit, because I'm like super busy, man. It's a lot of shit going on.
It's honestly, that's me too, bro. But what I do with Andre is, once we place the trade, I set a TP1 alert. That means wherever I'm at, outside the desk, like at the gym, I move my stop loss to break even, and then I'll have like alerts at TP2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or whatever, or maybe just full TP with little alerts, that little notes on the alert that says what I need to do once price gets there, so I don't have to think anymore, because I did all my thinking in the morning.
Yeah, that makes sense. And as far as your TPs, you set your TPs as your stop loss and profit points, or you set 3 separate trades and take them out like that?
Personally, I take partials.
Partials, yeah.
You could do 3 other positions, but personally, I don't know. If I did that, it would still end up being the same thing. It would just be that main position just cut into 3. So to an extent, it's almost the same thing. Just I'd rather take 1.
Yeah.
Because say price,
it's just all psychological.
Yeah.
Just depending on the person.
And honestly, like say price comes up to 14,800 with these indexes, they move fast, bro. Like you might be able to, if you say you try to get 4 positions in here.
Oh, I know.
You try to get 1 in here, you might get 1, and it just drops, and you're like, damn. What about the other 4? Now I'm in small lot, and now you're trying to get them in, and you're slowly going down. Now your risk reward's a little bit fucked up. But me personally, if I could just have the all in the 1 position, it's just easier. You have 1 position, if it gets stopped.
See, I'd be scared to do that. That's why I set stops on the way down as like confirmation under areas of.
It just comes with experience, bro. Because the more you do it, the more confidence you'll gain in doing it. Because trust me,
I'm straight though. Thing. Like my win rate is like 55%.
That's all you need.
I'm getting payouts, but I know it's still, I could, like, my potential hasn't been hit. You feel me?
Shit, I probably would never be hit. Your potential
or at
would never be
like
hit. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I feel like I could do better though. Like,
okay, yeah. always. There's always room for improvement. I hate when people always talk about rate me 1 out of 10. Nah, rate me 1 out of 9. No one's ever gonna be a 10, because once you're saying you're at that 10, you're basically saying you have no more improving. You're perfect how you are, and that's fucking cap. No one's perfect. Right. Everyone has improving. Look at Elon Musk. People would have said 5 years ago that he was a goat. Look at him now. He kept on going. Reaching. He's like fucking shitted on Jeff Bezos like 2 times. And who else? Yeah. What's another good example? Kanye West. Imagine if he would have stopped going hard 3-4 years ago at his peak. He wouldn't have had all this shit happen. He wouldn't have had that documentary come out. He wouldn't have had Donda 2. He wouldn't have had all this clout that he's having right now with this all drama, because he kept on going. Because he knew his full potential is not met and is never going to be met, because you're only gonna get better over time. You're only gonna get better with experience, and the more you do things.
His popularity got the Yeezys is his.
Yeah, that's where he makes the most money.
Revenue, yeah.
And mind you, that's only a couple years old. Imagine if he would have stopped going hard 6 years ago. Never would have happened.
Remember people were talking shit about his shoes?
Yeah, Yeezys was out for actually like 7 to 8 years. A lot of people don't know. Like they've been out for a while now.
Just because he kept pushing it though, and he kept pushing it and finally took off.
You right.
Some of them still are ugly.
Shoes. I still don't own a pair of Yeezys. I'm more like, other Jordan and
shit.
Foam.
Air Forces and Vapor Max is all I need. I can wear them shits every day.
Yeah, I like Vapor Max 95s, but
yeah, it's just
a Jordan 4s. I probably got
pair of them shits. Yeah, 4. I like ones. I'm calm low. I don't really be caring. I wear slides everywhere if I could.
I'm starting to like dunks more like I used to in high school.
Like SBs.
They got some nice colors. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, shoes were never my main thing. I don't know. Maybe not now, but once I say I have $1 million in my pocket, I'm like, damn, let's go buy some Jordans. It's gonna be like nothing. So it's like I'll probably have more than. But as of right now,
the shoe game is like the stock market now.
Yeah, you can invest in.
Yeah.
Certain shoes. It's like same thing with jewelry. If you buy certain jewelry, it can you end up making money on it. It's just all about what you know. It's all about the information you have. Because compared to someone that might buy shoes just because they look nice, compared to someone that knows what shoes are gonna appreciate over time, it's a big difference. And it's just based off the knowledge. Knowledge isn't king, it's applied knowledge.
Always buy 2 at a time, man, especially if they dead stocks. That way you can make your money back times.
Nah, real shit. You said this is the best stream, manifested this for. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, bro. It just all comes down to experience. Like as of right now, remember I was saying earlier, it might be a trendy day. This is just another day that's gonna add to my fucking cockiness. Where I'm like, damn, this might be another day I don't trade because it's just experience that I'm gaining. I've seen what happened. I've seen what it looked like. And I see how it's playing out. So even though I didn't take a trade, I'm still gonna take this knowledge and experience that I have right now, and I'm gonna be able to apply it later on. And even though I might not make money today. Shit, I can't talk. I might not make money today. I might not lose money. I'm still gonna gain the experience that I wouldn't have gained if I would have slept in or if I wouldn't have got on these charts. So regardless, if I didn't really do nothing, I'm still doing something. Doing nothing is still doing something. If you think about it.
Yeah, you gaining knowledge and you preserving capital. Because any day that you preserving your capital is a good day.
That's a good day. No cap. That's why less is more always. But yeah, at this point we have news at 10 o'clock, but I don't honestly think nothing crazy is gonna happen. Even if we do get a push, what's the likelihood of price coming all the way back up here and then still dropping all the way down here? You know what I mean? It's possible.
Or at least to the break, or at least to that zone break right there.
Yeah, anything could happen in my opinion, but you never really know. That's why personally, I'm just gonna, like 5 minutes, I'm just gonna end it off here. Nice little. I feel like I got good points across. I was able to make a good few topics, and just from me showing you that 12 a.m. open, that's enough for last you a week. Because now you're going to start seeing this and your trading is going to just be like, damn, it's going to just improve.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Of course.
Man.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to like 10.
To the second half of this, second half of this morning, then hit my second workout. Actually, that's my daughter too. So I'll holler at y'all, bro. It was good meeting y'all.
No, you good.
We'll definitely be tapping in, bro.
All right, bro. You be safe.
You too.
But nah, Martin, yeah, right now, it's not really doing much. Shit's just dropping. Trending day at its finest.
Yeah, Andre, I'm not trading in a broker right now, dude. Honestly,
personally, I would just do it though, just cause regardless, it's just make a demo account. It's gonna be the same thing regardless. Cause the thing is with trading paper trade is you're not gonna be able to do exactly what you would want to do. You're not gonna be able to take the partial, because you could leave a runner on there. It's not the same though, because what if you take the full position off? So personally, you did good this week trading paper trading, but I would just make a account with it, just anything. Even if you just want to use TradingView, you could just take trades on TradingView, just to actually get in it and watch how it is live and actually get stopped out. Like it's one thing to get stopped out and you're not really getting stopped out, and it's another thing to actually have the trade not even in there, because when you're in a paper trade, you could easily just say you got in here or something, I don't know, just a random point. Say it came up and did something like this, and it still looked like it played out. In a way, you're gonna be like, okay, I feel like I did good in a way, right? Because you got stopped out by a little bit. But say in reality, if you would have got stopped out in a real trade all the way, people are like, damn, now that you see it's going the other way, you would have been like, what could I have done to catch it? But when it's like this, it's just a little bit different. It's psychological, like we were saying. It's all mental at the end of the day.
I said alert, so right at the end of the wherever the stop loss price is. So if it like hits the stop loss, I know that it happened, and it's like it's that gut wrenching feeling of not seeing a TP your stop loss hit on a notification compared to full TP hit is they're both emotions.
Yeah, bro. Just personally, like I like paper trading, but being in the trade is just a different vibe. You actually get anxious, even if there's no money on the line. You still have that anxiousness.
Yeah, I'm gonna create one right now. Fuck it.
Yeah, might as well, bro. You could do it on FTMO too. Just do it on FTMO. You can make their demos, use the same lot, so you're still getting practice in it.
Yeah, it's the thing that throws me off is it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's cool though. Fuck it. After the 2 weeks, you can just make another one.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Cause it's only demo.
I'll be on setup for tomorrow, bro.
Of course, but nah, yeah. Today was just a classic trending day. I'm probably not gonna do daily range because I don't like doing daily ranges on these trending days because there's not really much to learn. It's just fucking dropping. And look, remember that high time frame analysis I had on the weekly? Look at this.
Yeah.
Here, let me just add to my cockiness real quick. Look at it.
Be...
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, it's gonna fall for sure, man.
I'm not even mad at that. I'm talking about look exactly where I wanted price to go. 15,305. I missed it by 40 points, and it's on the weekly. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Oh, Andre, man. Wait, but that's that precision where you learn over time.
Shit, I ain't done. Go to use 30 now. Woo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that one was nice.
Look at this.
62%
right
there.
Perfectly. Yep. Cleared them highs. Just start dropping. Oh, yeah.
A retracement.
13,700. I don't know if we'll get there this week, but sometime soon. Because we are in this downtrend right now. If we get say in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe 2 months, if we start to break below these lows, we're going to be shifting into a bearish market, which is kind of wild. We'll see how it plays out. Every time we shift into a bearish market, price kind of just makes its way higher. So we'll see how it ends up.
It's going to be fun to trade the market.
We're going to see how it is. I haven't really traded a bear market, but hey, I'm down for anything. My setup is there. Regardless of the direction, I'm in there. Yeah, look at this 10 o'clock news. It's dropping price. Trending day, man. Trending day at its finest. I'm glad I was able to kind of feel it was going to be a trending day before it actually happened, because I'm starting to sense when certain days that it is. Even though we did get this high of the day up here, we ain't get a retracement, so no trade. Simple as that.
No retracement, dude. I don't even consider that a retracement.
Nah, bro, it's 20%. That ain't shit. That ain't shit. This was probably just a false break, if anything. I wouldn't even count it as a retracement. This just cleared these highs and just kept going the other direction. But now, with that being said, I'm gonna end it off here. This was a good stream. A lot of shit was said. I'm gonna try to. Which one is this? 116. I'm gonna remember this one because there's a lot of shit that was said that I can repurpose. A lot of good shit was said.
Oh yeah.
So, and we're at 890 subscribers. 10 more than 900. So, we gonna get there eventually. Yeah. Just consistency. I give it 10 subscribers. I'll say by Monday I could hit it. Monday. Maybe sooner. We'll see. We will see. But with that being said, I'm gonna end it off here. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the video. Hopefully you're able to learn something, even though no trades were taken. A lot of game was spit. So if you were paying attention, just listening, you would have learned a lot. Trust me. Nice little hour stream. It was an hour just of talking, honestly. It's like 10 minutes of markup. Not even probably, like 5. But then all the game afterwards, that's the most important thing, because even though nothing happened on the chart, you're going to learn the most from what we were saying. Because what we were saying is coming from experience. Coming from someone that's been trading 4 years. Martin's been trading, what, 2.5, 3 almost?
Yeah, it's been about 3 years, but it was different different markets too. But Andre, can I give some advice?
There you go.
So guys, if you have the skill set in a demo or the skill set and you want to take this FTMO challenge, now I paid $1,000 for the 200K in funding. Then I had my grandma do it, but she has money. And then I lost it because I just wasn't ready. I had the jitters. I still was just not prepared enough for it. Then I did the 50K twice, and now if you have the money to do this, do it. But I'm looking at the 10K now account, and it's only $170. I should have just been doing that and then working my way with the disciplined being funded trader with the 10K account scaled up to be able to buy these other packages. So just a heads up, guys. I'm just thinking out loud.
Even that personally, I wouldn't even waste the money. Like I always say, with the challenges, do it, study it as this as a test. So what I would personally do is make it a goal to pass, say, make a 100K demo account, make like 10 of them. Try to pass like 7 to 8 of them. If you could pass 7 to 8, what's the likelihood of you being able to pass the actual challenge? It'll be more likely, and you don't even got to spend the money to do that. It's just all about the way you look at it. When you put the money on the line with these challenges, you're going to feel more attached to it, so it probably will be better for you psychological wise, because you'll know what it feels like. But setup wise, and if you're still just trying to refine strategy, understand how it works, use a demo account, practice making that percentage, try to make a certain percentage, set your rules up, and just have that system so when you take the challenge, it's literally the same thing, because you don't even got to waste the money. Regardless, you're going to be taking the same trades regardless. And the only thing is if you're taking a 10K account, it's going to be a different lot size. It's not going to be the same amount of money. So say if you go from that to 50K, it's going to be a big leap. You're not going to be used to it. So what I would do is, if you're going to do a 100K account, make 100K demo accounts. If you're going to do 10K, do 10K, 10 demo accounts, and just practice with that same thing, because you want the challenge to feel as demo as possible in a way. Even though it is demo, you want it to feel like before. You don't want it to feel different. You don't want to be trading differently. You want to be trading the same exact way regardless of what it is, because it's the same thing. You're going to be taking the same trades, same setup, same pairs, same time. It's all the same, just the account changes. That's the only thing that changes. It's psychological at the end of the day. It's really all it is. That's why I say just make the demo accounts, because if you can do it on those demo accounts, what's the reason you can't do it on a challenge? They're both demo accounts. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'm just creating the demo. I was gonna do the 10K and I was like,
nah, I wouldn't even waste money, bro. Just keep the money, because you can make more money over time just saving that money and using the demo accounts, man. If you would have just keep buying it, because if you fail it, the money's just gone, and you know what I mean? It's kind of useless into a sense. But nah, I think that's all I have for today. Bearish ass day, trending day, not much happened. So what I'm gonna do is simply remove drawings and call it a day. We're done here. No trades were taken. Discipline, patient, that's all that matters. So that being said, hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're able to learn something. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're at 890 subscribers. Road to 1,000. Should be in 1,000 hopefully in a month or two before the summer. But with that being said, appreciate everyone for being here. Appreciate Martin for being here. Appreciate Cortez for being here. And I'll see you all later. Martin, you have anything else to say?
Be motivated by the fear of being average, guys. That's been my kind of like Andre's thing, but I've been kind of just thinking of it in my head with just everything in life. And have a great day.
It's just a mindset, man. It's not a mindset. It's just a motto. Just I'm gonna get that shit tat on my neck. Oh God, I'm gonna get that shit tat on my fucking neck. Nah. Shit. Appreciate everyone being here. Like Martin said,